Good evening, everybody. I'm here at the third International Multi-Topic Conference on Engineering and Science, IMCES, held on 2nd and 3rd June 2020 at the Faculty of Information Technology, Universitas Yarsi, Jakarta, Indonesia. And I'm presenting my paper titled Effect of Corona Epidemic on Research Activities of Researcher in Engineering University in Pakistan and its Solution via Technology. My name is Shafiq-ur-Rehman Massan, and my co-authors are Mujtaba Shaikh and Abdul Dahri. Right? We'll go through the contents, we'll go through the introduction, the research question, and how research shall go from impact factor to real impact, creating real value for the end users. Then I'll talk about managing research, the objectives, and managing research for universities and how it is done. Then I'll talk about managing the timelines and how to manage the timelines of the students, the methodology for doing so. Then we'll work on some data, we'll look at the data, and then at the end I'll put some recommendations and the conclusion of this research. Right, the corona pandemic took the world by storm, but we must do our part if we are to continue to evolve. We cannot stop and let the biologists take over and do everything for us. We have to evolve in every sphere of life. Engineers must do their part, biologists must do their part, economists must do their part, and everybody must put in their share towards the society while we are fighting this pandemic. At the early onset, it was felt that there was a huge gap in the response of developed nations as compared to the early research papers produced. There is a huge changing global paradigm. Excuse me. Social distancing is the norm. We are working from home, and we have to delegate our tasks to the manual labor and to the technicians who are working in the field, who are working in laboratories. And we must delegate all those tasks as much as we can and to keep adept social distancing. The manager-subordinate paradigm in many offices has been replaced with direct hierarchies as extreme specializations are evolving in newly evolving job structures. People are doing specific jobs, and the manager-subordinate hierarchy has been replaced because the middle managers and the senior managers are replaced, and the subordinates are directly responsible and reporting their work to the CEOs or to the university heads of the departments of the universities. Presently, the time frame that I'm talking about is that Pakistan is facing the second resurgence in the education sector. From 2001 to 2010, the first pool of researchers went abroad. Many took postgraduate degrees, higher degrees, PhDs, and they came back with that knowledge. And these first pool of researchers are passing their knowledge to the second pool of researchers, which shall be tested for worth and vigor. So this is the second decade, and this is the ending of the second decade, and how the first pool of researchers have passed on their knowledge is to be seen. Presently, Pakistan has 177 universities, 12,000 faculty members, and 1,500 PhD scholars are added every year. So around 7,500 PhD scholars are maintained every year in Pakistan universities, adding the mathematics. The main question is that in these testing times, how knowledge shall pass on to the next wave of the researchers. So the research question being how research work has continued in the Pakistan engineering universities during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a broad term, and I'm generalizing my university to give a semblance of how other universities are also coping within our time frame and our time and space paradigm in Pakistan. There is a general belief, usually felt, that we have not produced enough credible science. Let's see if it is true. Let's see if our response is good enough or not. The first National Center for Virology has been established with the collaboration of the Wuhan Institute of Virology and three institutions from Germany, namely Medidiagnost, Tübingen University, Eberhard Karls University of Tübingen. So, in response, a huge center has been established at the University of Karachi, at the ICCBS, at the prestigious ICCBS, right? Ventilators were not manufactured in Pakistan earlier, but two universities are working on developing fully automated ventilators, and they have taken the HEC's Rapid Research and Innovation Grant. Diagnostic kits have been developed by the NUST Ataraban School of Applied Sciences, which is a collaboration of the Armed Forces, the Columbia University, the DZF University of Germany, and the Wuhan Institute of Virology, China. I can add that one of our universities, the Punjab universities, has also developed a kit that costs a mere $5 per test. So cost effectiveness is already in place, right? So now when I talk about my university and the sort of problems that we faced and how we have overcome these problems given the time frame and how the Higher Education Commission gave us the task. The Higher Education Commission decreed that all universities shall remain closed till May 31 and online teaching shall continue wherever possible. It has to continue and it has to go on, provided that the teaching quality is not compromised and online resources must be found and utilized effectively. Students have to complete 3, 6, or 30 credits depending on their semester and their placement in the academic timeline. The research framework, there are 3 layers of management that we have to take into account. The director's level, the director directs from his higher place in the meetings of statutory bodies held online at the university under the guidance of the president. The management layer, the manager layer is about meeting deadlines and setting the goals and targets for the students. The human layer is what that's making possible, and it is getting the work done from both the teachers, the faculty members, and the students. The timelines to be managed are that the registration of the research credits was already done before the corona pandemic, and the meetings with the supervisors were going on. The first week had gone on. The selection of the supervisors was about to take place when this pandemic broke. We have gone through all of these timelines, the selection of the research titles by the end of the 3rd week, and the submission of chapters 1, 2, and 3 was envisaged by early 7th week. The midterm evaluation was envisaged by the end of the 7th week. The preview copy by the 14th week. Final presentation that shall be taken online of the students by the end of the 16th week, and the hardbound copies by the end of the 17th week. So that closes our entire semester without any break. There have been laggards and there have been students who opted to choose out and to phase out and to not take part in research during this semester, but it was better for those who took part and who have contributed to research in this semester. Methodology. Removing the bias at the evaluation levels for the supervisors, externals, and internals is the main cause of concern for the research department. The distribution of the marks is as follows. The timely submission on deadlines, chapter 1, 2, and 3, and the final submission carries 20% marks. The midterm is balanced with the internal taking 10% marks and the supervisor giving 10% marks. And the final term, the supervisor gives 30% marks, and the external who's watching the presentation shall also give 30% marks. This was envisaged when I wrote this paper and has been laid out for research. There are two layers of corrections in this research activity. One at the content level by the internals, and the second when the complete manuscript has been produced at the library division to view the formatting, spell check, as well as the plagiarism of the final thesis. Early data analysis was desolate. We could say that few teachers, around 16%, were in contact with the students, and around 84% were not in contact with the students. And out of these 16%, around 40% were in active contact with the students, and around 60% of the students were not in contact. But these figures were at the early onset, around third or fourth week. And this situation has vastly improved, and we are reaching the end of the term when the study is being presented, and the students shall be asked by mid-June to submit all of their work. There were laggards, there was delay on part of the teachers, and there was delay on part of the students. Everybody was not sure of what to do, but now we're sure and we are progressing, right? The primary mode of contact was through WhatsApp and mobile calls. Teachers were frantic and they were placing mobile calls, but then people also started using Zoom, and Zoom meetings have improved the detailed discussions, and people can see each other face to face and use their laptops to make meaningful deductions and contribution during the meetings with the supervisors and the students. The figures by the end of the semester are quite encouraging, and we are writing another research paper that shall engulf all of the activities that has been done. This has been presented by the mid of the semester, and this is a mid-semester study. The figures are much better now. Recommendations. We must have a focal person, of course, the deputy manager. I was a deputy manager last term, but this time Dahri is managing his part, doing his part at the university level. All people entering the university premises must apply social distancing. Infected people are advised rest, medical care. Safety and health guidelines by the WHO are to be followed, and experienced teachers are managing the research paradigm in this semester. The lack of focus and coordination among the students is to be mitigated, and we are taking our teachers into confidence on how to remove the chaos and uncertainty of the coronavirus era. Integrated software and platform and various complex interactions are being done on a software platform on the change of supervisor and change of thesis title, and these are also being managed amicably. SOPs and formats have been developed, and we're ready for the next semester. If you're going in online again for the next semester, great visibility to the students has been ensured by use of the Google Classroom. Availability of standard templates. We have given the students the templates. The marks distribution is known to the students and well in advance. Online presentations have been encouraged, and current research on the coronavirus and its effects has been invited from the industry through the Office of Industrial Liaison. Students' Rights Council is enacted to help the students write the thesis. Online thesis formatting help is being given by a team of students as well as volunteers. Online workshops and presentations are envisaged, were delivered on SPSS, Smart PLS, MATLAB, Minitab, etc. Online workshops and sessions known as work at homes, just like a work at the university, a session is held where all people come together and they start the work together. We encourage people to meet up, to time each other, and to talk with each other while writing their thesis and to get help from each other through online workshops and sessions. There is no panic, there is no eventuality. Emergency readiness is ensured at the student level as well as at the teacher level. The one-to-one interaction between the students that was frantic is now better, and the students are doing much better. The conclusion: the quarantines have to increase, social distancing has to increase if we are to fight the coronavirus pandemic. Good practices, effective command, clear and lucid and timely communication well in advance is important to ensure that research continues flawlessly. The validity and the reliability of the results and examination has to be taken to the next level, and objectivity has to be improved so that most interaction which is online is meaningful, judgmental, and forbearing. The standard evaluation of all research work has to rise at a higher level to meet this current emergency situation. The bibliography, these are all given in my research work. And at the end, I'd like to thank everybody for their precious time for listening to me. I'd like to pay my respect to my grandfather, Ali Mohammad Massan, and Dr. Ghulam Rasool Sheikh, who have had good prayers for me and have enabled me to present, to be here to present my presentation. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.